So, I think we should do an episode on net neutrality. Hypothetically, what is net neutrality? I don't understand it, and I've been faking like I know what I'm talking about.
Is that true?
No.
Man.
So, I was watching Ice Poseidon videos.
I don't have any idea what that is.
He's a streamer. His name's Ice Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
He, I think he used to stream video games, but he doesn't anymore. Now he just Andy Milonakis is it.
Oh, man.
And he goes out to eat with Andy Milonakis. He moved to LA from New York.
So they're buds.
So now, like, I watched a video, and this is the video I was going to talk about, was the fact that, so he's walking down the street in Beverly Hills, and he's on his way to meet Andy Milonakis for dinner.
Which is a great story in and of itself.
Right, and I love the idea of it, because it's probably going to be this dude with his camera on one side, and Andy Milonakis with his camera on the other side, pointing at each other's cameras. It's great. Cameraception. So, he's on his way there, and he goes in the Sephora, and he starts trying on makeup. And he goes to, like, the concealer aisle, and he picks up the concealer, and he, like, squirts these, like, trial-size concealer stuff in his hands, and he, like, tries to match his skin tone, and it works pretty well, and he's like, wow, this looks great. I'm going to try this one, and he holds up, like, a dark black skin tone.
Oh,
like,
no.
not black, but like,
face?
yeah, but like black person, like dark brown skin tone.
Oh, no.
So he squirts it in his hand, and he puts it all over his face. And it looks like his skin is legit, like, African-American skin, like except his eyes. Skin. Yeah, and then he picks up, he's like, oh shit, I'm blackface in public right now. I gotta fix this. So he starts squirting, like, white color in his hand again, and spreading it on top of that, and trying to cover up all of the fucking
like
black.
3 layers of makeup at this point.
Dude, and then he just keeps trying different layers. Stacking. He has like 7 on him at the time.
Go to the bathroom.
Dude, it's awful. But, and the video that I watched is like, so-and-so does blah, blah, blah. Like, Ice Poseidon, Ice Poseidon gets arrested, or almost gets arrested, because of a social justice warrior. Which I don't think this lady was really a social justice warrior, but she dropped something in the store, and he's like, oh, here, let me pick that up for you, and hands it to her. She's like, oh, thank you very much. Are you recording right now? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a live streamer, so I record all the time. And she's like, oh my God, I don't want my picture taken. Please stop. And he's like, oh yeah, no worries. And like walks out. And the whole time, the store's getting phone calls from people who figured out like where the Sephora is.
They're docking.
And they're calling, asking for like the dude in purple. And one of them says that he's Andy Milonakis. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, Andy called? Okay, yeah, I'll take that. So he goes over and he's like, hey, Andy, what's up? And it's just a dude asking him like regular questions and shit. So good. But then he goes to leave, and the manager stops him, and she's like, hey, I've called the cops. This lady over here says that you stole her credit card. And he's like, what? She's like, and the lady's like, yeah, I can't find my credit card. You came up and picked up the makeup that I dropped off the floor. Now I can't find my card. So you probably stole it. And he's like, what the fuck? So, like, the cops come, sit him on the curb, ask him a bunch of questions. He's like, I have all the video right here. And he's sitting there, like, chatting up one of the cops. And he's like, hey, just real quick, do I have any black on my face? And she's like, yeah, you have a little bit on your forehead. And he's like, all right, cool, because I put on some, like, makeup that made it look like I had, like, blackface. And I was just making sure it was gone. And the cops are just like, what the fuck are we dealing with right now? It was so good.
Like, they have their own story they went back to tell from the other perspective.
And, like, he had met up with a fan earlier and had, like, a Michael Myers Halloween mask, like just a white blank face mask. So he had, like, that in his pocket, so they pulled that out. And they're like, what are you doing recording yourself with a mask? And he's like, well, I was going to rob banks, but I don't know how to turn off my camera, and I don't want to live stream it. So here I am, just being an asshole. But
your joke is great, but I don't know why you had to blackface to tell it.
I just wanted to get into character,
Okay.
Every time I'm quoting him is legitimate.
That's fine.
So, welcome to this week's episode of Hypothetically Speaking. My name's Tyler Malter. With me, as always,
John Reed.
And
politically correct.
Perfect. This week we have got together to answer the Christmas question of what should be replaced with a lump of coal in the stocking as punishment.
Yeah, so check this out. Because I feel like we have to bring back the story of the lump of coal. I don't really feel like this gets pushed around too much anymore. It's a tradition that seems lost.
Absolutely.
So you've got Santa Claus, Saint Claus, Saint Nicholas, the man himself, and he's flying around and he's got a list. He knows if you're naughty. He knows if you're nice. Let's just be real. Mm-hmm. He knows. He sees. And if you are naughty, he still takes time out of his day, a very busy day, to climb down your chimney, to fill your stocking full of coal. And it is to remind you that you're terrible, and also to probably warm your house.
But why coal? Why was coal the pick?
And here's where we're starting our new Hypothetically Speaking segment of the real history of our questions.
Absolutely.
Where we do a deep dive into the nonfiction of our question, and then we start getting the hypotheticals.
Absolutely.
So, Sean, if you would please enlighten us with the history of coal. Sean brought the question this week, so he did all the research.
Yeah, let me ruffle some papers.
I believe it started in the late 1800s, the American Industrial Revolution.
Predates that. It's actually during the Croatoan period.
Oh, really?
Oh.
And it appears that it was used. It was Have you seen Stephen King's It?
No, but I am watching the History Buffs unsubscribe from our channel as we speak.
Oh, great! That's
and
fantastic. Friends of the
drastic.
show. But they use a slingshot with a rock to kill Pennywise in the old movie.
Right.
It was kind of the similar thing with Saint Nicholas when fighting Krampus. So he didn't have much on him because he had toys that all needed to go to the good children. So he harnessed all the hate of the children in the world and gave them the love of coal. The original intention was to arm the children, the rude and less acceptable children, with weapons.
Because sometimes kids are too poor to find rocks.
That's right.
So Santa has to bring them coal instead.
And Krampus hates coal. It gets dirty. It's a nasty, dirty thing. It's just a big lump of carbon, and it'll get everywhere. You wash, but it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So he's arming the poor children. Not that poor children are bad. I'm going to backpedal from that one. But the children that are not fortunate enough to get toys.
I feel like it's important to the history, to the story, to really understand, are poor children bad?
That is a good question.
It's a question that should be asked.
Is it?
But not answered.
Yeah.
So why coal, though? Why do we have to stop at coal? What if it were something else?
Something else, exactly. So I feel like because that portion of the story has been lost.
Yeah, no one's ever heard it before.
It's time to bring it into the modern era. So the rules of it is that it can pretty much be anything tangible. I didn't want it to be, he's not spreading like disease. I think it should be a product. Mm-hmm. Like you don't open it up and get smallpox. Oh, okay. Like we did that one before and it was not great.
God damn it.
So
why do we always talk about genocide?
Well,
always.
It's with hypothetical questions, you're bound to go there. If you spin the wheel, half of it's genocide.
That's true.
So it's got to be a product, in my opinion. And
does it have to fit in a stocking?
No. The stocking thing is bullshit.
Coal in the stocking.
Most people, even recently, the coal would come like wrapped, like it would be and packages typically in a stocking are wrapped anymore. Mm-hmm. Before the original stockings, that they would put like fruit and stuff in there, and things weren't wrapped. They weren't intended to be wrapped in the stocking.
Is that really used to put fruit in stockings?
That's right. Yeah.
My grandma gives me an orange every year. Not a joke,
dude.
Every year. This year, I reach into my stocking. It's not an orange. It's two smaller oranges.
Oh, that's double oranges.
Tripped me the fuck up.
Maybe, absolutely. The first time I found out about this was my grandmother, and we went to Cracker Barrel for Christmas, and she gave me the stocking at the table, and I pulled that orange out and just owned it and peeled that shit right there. I peeled and ate the fucking orange, stopped my meal, and ate that orange and appreciated it. And I'll tell you right now, it's scrumptious.
Yeah. Scrumptious.
So yeah, no, it doesn't have to be in the stocking. I don't feel like. Okay. We've transformed to this. Just Santa brings it to you, right? Plus, if you woke up on Christmas morning and you go downstairs and you look under the tree, there's no presents there. You're already disappointed. And then you looked at that stocking, and it wouldn't matter if everything that could fit in a stocking was in there. You're probably still unhappy.
Mm.
So this way, you get something under the tree. You can heighten the level of disappointment.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So I tried. I'll go ahead and do mine first. I'll get you guys warmed up. Mm-hmm. So I tried to think about something of a coal-like capabilities. Like, you don't really need it anymore. Like, coal was used to, you could burn in like a furnace or to stoke fire. So it had some purpose, but it was like the least effective way to do the thing you were trying to do.
Oh, but it was handed out in winter.
It was, which you could kind of say is the same with mine. So little Tyler, he's been force feeding kids glue at school all year. He would hand out rulers, but they would always be like metric rulers, and we're in the U.S., so God, man, it was real bad. Just a real nasty, dirty boy is what Tyler is. And so he comes down Christmas morning and opens his package, and what does he have? He's got a pager.
Oh, whose phone numbers are preset into?
He's stuck with a pager. Nobody's there. No plan. No data plan. You don't get a smartphone this year, Tyler. You get a pager. You just know my mom wants you to come home. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So that's it. So pagers, I figure there's a copious amount of them.
What's a pager?
What's a pager for the people at home? It's a tiny box of disappointment. You strap it on your belt, and everyone makes fun of you, even the other pager people. So
fucking pager people.
That's what you get. You get a pager. Go throw it in your drawer and forget about it.
That's pretty
good. Bad boys, stop making kids eat glue.
Oh man, pager is hard to top. It really is like the most disappointing thing you could get in 2018 almost. Jesus.
So
okay,
there you go.
John, what would you replace?
Mine's a little more elaborate.
Oh
shit!
Pager's
more
great.
elaborate than the 9-minute diatribe.
Right, absolutely.
It's not a dead baby.
I've done the math. All right, I've consulted experts in this field.
I believe that.
And there is a strong correlation between naughty children and the lack of chimney in their house.
Oh.
Right? So, children believe they're getting one over on Santa because they can be bad, and Santa will have to leave the presents or coal at the door. And if they look out the door, like an Amazon package, and just see rocks, they're like, oh, great, Santa didn't bring me anything. But at least Mommy and Daddy did. Mm-hmm. So Santa doesn't get the sweet victory of stuffing their stocking full of coal, right? He didn't get to come down the chimney.
Like they had a say in the house.
Right, yeah.
Or they realized they were chimneyless and turned to a life of crime.
Yeah, it's kind of like when your parents aren't home or something, right? So, yeah. So
you
Santa,
see the opportunity to act up.
Right, absolutely.
And that is not having a chimney.
Right, and so misbehaving children is a burden on the parent, as one I would know.
Okay.
Right? So Santa is a step ahead of these filthy scumbags.
I don't want to skip on this for a second here. I want this to soak in with our viewers. John has revealed, after everything you've learned and experienced from him, that he is a father.
Yeah.
All these decisions, especially with the dead babies.
The dead babies thing is really...
We're going
episode 2.
Just take your hands. Imagine for a second that I'm here with you, and this is this Patrick Swayze type moment for our listeners. And they put your hands out, and imagine in your left hand, oh, there's a little weight forming there. That's a lot of dead babies. That's a lot of them. And now the right hand is the burden of parenthood. I want you to look in the mirror. You're John now. You're John. So I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to.
Listen, I look in the mirror every night. I stare deep in that vessel, and I consult with the pilot, and everything is working as it should.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We just learned John didn't have a chimney. Please go on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Santa awards parents who have shouldered this burden with a chimney of their own.
Oh,
free install. And all Mommy and Daddy have to do is leave a little bow on the doorknob when they go out on date night, and Santa's coming down that chimney, and he's whooping ass.
Shit.
You don't get coal. You get ass whoopings from St. Nicholas himself.
So Santa goes from working like 365 days worth of hours in a single day to working year round?
He works really one day, and that's when he has to dump all these gifts down your filthy chimneys.
Yeah, but he has to work like he's working over.
Well, no, those
are stressful.
That's the vacation period, because then Santa gets to travel around the world shirtless, MMA gloves on, his beard is braided up, and he's just going, and for 364 days or whatever, he's whooping kids' ass. The night before
So in
Christmas,
reality-
he's whooping ass.
You said that you're replacing coal with a chimney, but in reality, you're replacing it with ass whooping.
Yeah, but the family, the parents, get a chimney for having dealt with it. So they're going to welcome it. They're going to think, well, this isn't going to be used, in any bad way.
They could keep their house warm now.
Yeah, now we've got a sweet chimney.
Okay, so
And then-
Santa is so deranged.
No, Tyler.
That, yeah, because I'm missing the point. So hold on. I'm looking at Santa like this dude is so bloodthirsty and wants to beat the shit out of children so bad
Well, he doesn't-
that he's willing to install a chimney in a house just so he has an easy way in.
Right.
To
Well,
beat
it's
the shit
he's
out of kids.
subconscious.
It's one of those things where as he's like,
He's got elves.
That's right. He subcontracts it. But imagine, Tyler. It's July, and the hot item is the Tamagotchi. Okay, you're circa 1995. Everyone wants a Tamagotchi, so you come back to your elves. You say, "Elves, we know what we need to put up production in Tamagotchis," and it's great. Okay, so they get pumping them out. August rolls around. No one wants one of them Tamagotchis anymore. They're on the Tickle Me Elmos, and you got to ramp up, change all production over. Santa goes back to his room. He tumbles his bourbon in his glass and realizes that it's time to go whoop some ass. He's got to burn off some.
and
of
it's
his
not
stress.
one of those like he wants to do it.
He has to.
This is going to hurt you or hurt me more than it will hurt
It
you.
certainly does.
It's his responsibility.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing too. Is there's not just blood in that beard. There's tears, and the tears aren't just from the children, because he does have to clean up. He's got to make the mess clean.
So it's not a cat in the hat situation.
No, it's not.
Where you
And-
just leave the house a wreck, having chased the children, falling over couches and breaking into like china cabinets and whatnot.
That's right, and he has learned something from that good old mafia about phone books, which was my backup option. Was I wanted to hand out phone books because I feel like I've been real naughty and someone still keeps fucking giving me one. I think I pay for it with my taxes or something. I have no idea. But you fill one of those Santa bags full of phone books and there are no bruises, just tears. You wipe them up with your beard and you get the fuck back up that chimney.
Chimney in every household.
Jesus
That's the
Christ.
motto.
That's good. And then John is going to become is going to open a chimney sweep business. It's got Dick Van Dyke's chimney sweeps, and he's going to bring in that cash.
I'm just cleaning blood off of the walls of the chimney.
cash money, and he's in with Santa, so he's like, I didn't see shit.
Yeah.
You leave your kid home with the chimney sweep. It's not 2017.
And
you
think
definitely
about it.
still leave your children home with
After
adult
having
people.
spent like 99% of the year, beating down on children, he gets that one day where it's like therapeutic for him, where he can give back to
It's
the
now the
give
opposite.
back, right?
It's
There's
just-
always a new list of naughty kids because once you take one beating from Santa, you don't take another one because you learned your lesson.
So who gives Santa the coal equivalent of an ass whooping? Because he's beating the shit out of children.
It's not naughty.
Someone
Well,
needs to.
he has.
Someone
to
needs
do
to
it.
install the figurative chimney in his house.
That's not
Have
true.
you met Santa? Have you met Mrs. Claus?
This is Claus.
So
That's
Mrs.
a totally different conversation.
Mrs.
but
Claus
Mrs.
is-
Claus.
is guilty of domestic violence.
4 days.
Well,
in
we don't want to cross that boundary yet.
Okay, you're right. You're right. This is a family podcast.
Maybe the story of Krampus is really just Santa the rest of the year.
Like he werewolves, and like one day a year
Absolutely.
he turns into a jolly fat man delivering gifts, and the rest of the year he's eating people's souls.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what I would replace coal with, I want to tell you guys a little bit about me. I don't agree with.
He's
He's
having a hard time with this.
I don't agree with negative reinforcement.
Oh.
So like dog shits in the house, you spank the dog's butt and rub its face in the poop. I don't agree with that.
That's not good.
It doesn't work.
But you're on board with Santa beatings.
And you're
I'm
rubbing
not.
you're rubbing the poop into the carpet.
Yeah, you're just getting the shit further
Deeper
in
in there.
So I'm not a fan of negative reinforcement. So for Christmas instead of coal, I would swap it around. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and we give cars to all these children that are misbehaving all year, and then we're like, look, this is a cash advance of a car for you to turn it around. There's still time. We believe in you. Be good next year. Maybe you'll get something better than a car. You want that Tickle Me Elmo? Too bad. Here's a used 1997 Pontiac Grand Am, and next year maybe you'll get a Tickle Me Elmo. if you're good.
It's a used Grand Am.
Yeah.
It's got some miles on it.
I think I smuggled a lot of weed.
Transmission's going out.
It's a project car, Sean. Okay? It's a project car.
Those Coke still mobile well.
I'll tell you what, your choice is still diabolical. Because, first of all, they got to pay them taxes at the end of the year.
Yep, property tax. That's where it all comes back to. The government benefits from Santa's new plan.
Dude, you got to keep up the registration. Let me tell you, we just did that. It is not cheap.
Nope,
No, it's
not
the
at
way.
all.
You got to pay all that shit right up front when you get that car.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on the lot. It's just losing money. But also, you're putting those kids on the street.
Yeah. No, like 7-year-old Timmy driving a car down the street.
It's good. I was worried that you were just rewarding yourself being one of those dirty, glue-eating, foursome people out there in the world that you just want to get yourself one of them sweet
What does this
Trans
do to
I
the
am a
school
bad guy.
bus system, like the school transit system? I mean, school
so-
bus, every kid has a car now.
I'd get car
Because they're all bad. We all know it.
Yeah.
Kids are shitty, fucking dirty
Yeah.
people.
Kids suck most of the
Scumbags.
time.
All terrible. If
there's
you
a-
think your
there's
kid's
like-
good at home, it's
Yeah, I was
being
gonna
a
say
little
there's
fucker.
like 2 or 3 good kids, but those are just the ones related to me. All the rest of them suck.
All of them.
John feels the exact same way. I'm sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got 2 good kids that you know about, and they're your kids, and then the rest of them suck.
He just goes, nope.
So yeah, the everybody gets a car. School buses have to close down. I'm sorry for all the jobs lost from school buses, but the good news, we can start paying those driving teachers. We're going to need way more driving teachers because there's a ton of bad kids out there, and they're going to start learning at a younger age.
I tell you what, too, this has all been foretold by the Counting Crows. They paved Paradise and put up a parking lot.
Thank you. I'm glad someone understood where this was going, because once everyone has a car, there's going to come a point where only like babies that turn 3 or terrible 2s, once they turn 2,
Terrible twos.
they're getting their cars.
Yeah.
So then there's going to come a point where it's just that many cars, At age 2, everyone gets a car, and the rest of the time, what do you get? You don't get another fucking car. Santa can start giving out parking lots.
They pay Paradise. And then you've also brought back the other potential gift, which was the phone books. They guys sit on that phone book. They can't see over the windshield. So you're bringing phone books back. You're bringing back the Counting Crows.
Yeah. Is it the Counting Crows or the Talking Heads?
No, the Counting Crows. They sing that song.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Big Yellow Taxi.
Okay.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got
Till it's gone.
Paradise.
I just want...
Put up a parking lot.
I want everyone to know the only reason I chose cars, God damn it, is I just invested heavily into Michelin tires.
Oh,
I want everyone out there, all of our listeners, to know that Michelin Tires is the official sponsor of Hypothetically Speaking. They have the best tires and the most Marshmallow Man looking mascot in the industry.
so delicious looking. He has got to be the most appetizing mascot.
You
there
shut
is.
your mouth. What's the nugget guy from McDonald's?
Fucking nugget guy.
Yeah, the nugget dude. There's the Hamburglar, and then there's the mayor.
Who's good from the neck
Cheese
up.
Mayor.
Mayor
Wait,
McCheese.
it's,
Mayor McCheese, thank
Cheese,
you.
he's Irish.
Grimace? Is that
Grimace?
it?
No.
Grimace?
Grimace was a grape slushy.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
There's
that's still
there's
delicious.
There's the
nugget
Fry
guy.
Kids.
You can't eat children.
Is it
That's
just
out
like
of-
a crusty old small man who's like,
I don't remember. We'll look it up after this. We'll get back to you guys on that one. Mayor McCheese, though, is better than the nugget guy.
from the neck up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not eating any of that. He's portly, but it ain't cheeseburger.
No.
I'll tell you what.
It just makes me think of Pizza the Hut from
That's
Spaceballs.
right. He ate himself to death.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to say on stocking Kohl's and
Yes.
replacements?
Yes. So the other option I had out there.
Oh, now who's bringing multiple options?
Oh no, I bring in multiple options because this is a treasure trove of opportunities. So I'm talking about 1 or 2 options. Okay, you've got a back-to-back year thing that you can give out. So I'm gonna give you first clue: VHS.
Okay.
Second clue is the movies. So first year, you've been real bad. Tyler's just he didn't care about his pager. He wears it with pride. He lets everybody know you got a certified bad boy walking down the street. But what is that? What's that this year? That's a VHS copy of Corky Romano? I don't think
All right.
anybody wants that.
Cool your fucking jets.
Look at
Don't
you,
talk
look,
shit on Corky Romano.
That sounds like somebody who got Corky Romano on VHS for being a bad boy. But the next year, somehow like released one after another. That is, you open the first half of it, you see a movie. You think you're getting that starring movie with Keanu Reeves. You realize it's the second one. You're getting Matrix Reloaded.
Oh!
It's Matrix Reloaded on VHS, and it's like 3 times copied over. So it's like just
It's
not
really
even
rough.
great. Not
That's
great at all.
good.
Not
Got
great at all.
repeat
You're getting
scenes.
like partial clips of like a Noid Domino's commercial partway through, but only the cool car chase part.
God damn it.
The part that's unedited and just seems to be an almost like better than VHS quality is those sweet rave scenes. The sweet dirty man rave scenes.
All right, well, you depressed the shit out of me at the end there.
Some good runner-ups were DDoS attacks on every child's PC, taxes, student loans.
I was gonna do debt. They all get debt.
But they already have debt. You're
and
born
then-
into the world with debt now.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
And then dead parents was the other one.
Yeah.
But then I'm punishing potentially good parents.
Imagine
Right.
if when you were born you had to shoulder the cost of your birth when you turned 18. Like, oh, by the way, we didn't bill your parents. We're billing you.
See, but now
Welcome to
it's
the
good.
world, kid.
No,
I like
no,
that.
no, no,
No,
no,
I like
do
that.
not let John get you into his totalitarian ways. We're not doing this. Old fascist John's getting you again. Don't let him do that. No, I'm thinking like they're tangible things. Give them a board game with no parts, like no pieces. They just get the rules. Read the rules.
See, but that's
have a good time.
imagination goes a long way.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it without a board?
Oh, dude, I could cut up all the Monopoly pieces I need.
Oh, you
Right,
could.
$5 on 39 like cut up squares of paper.
Sure.
I'm set. I don't know the rules of Monopoly, but
No, you don't.
yeah. Also, how many 5s are there in a set?
Maybe Maybe it's like a Russian set of rules.
Oh,
Like it's
in
definitely
another language?
not in your language, but all you have to do is to read them.
Maybe bad kids should get Rosetta Stones,
Oh,
and they just have to learn a different language.
it's all they get. They get
Educational material and underwear.
They get Muzzy. You guys remember Muzzy?
It's familiar.
Muzzy was a
Muzzy
French,
was a fuzzy.
a French teaching cartoon show. They would always advertise it, but nobody ever knew anything about it. And they advertised it for like 7 years. They would show like little kids, and they were watching these really poorly animated cartoons. And then one of them would go, "Is this Viage en vie?" And they would be like, "That's
I remember that.
that's not English. They're speaking French. These kids aren't French. They're American." And I was like, "Well, that's not really appropriate." Like, I mean. And then thanks to the teachings of Muzzy, so they get Muzzy, but they get the middle volumes where it's just too complex.
Right.
Too complex.
That's pretty good. Like
They're
they're doing
like idioms and shit.
Yeah, they're
right.
doing like compound sentence or compound words.
That's
and-
right. That's right. Or it's teaching them the words incorrectly.
Oh, that's good.
So it's not even.
You can't undo that.
You can't.
You can't undo that.
You can't. If you're going to ruin their opportunities to learn a language every year, you're crossing another language off that kid's belt. It's really kind of like our correctional system. You're really only bringing them back out worse than they were when they went in.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, it's time for me to go back into myself.
Yep.
Bye.
Sorry. All right. Well, that's gonna do it this week for us here at Hypothetically Speaking. My name is Tyler Malta. You can find me at TJMalt421. You can find John Reed at.
John Reed Art.
You can find Sean Murphy at.
Chuck Bonsai one.
You can find us at tablenight.com, facebook.com/tablenight. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play Music, Twitter at tablenight, and we will catch you next week.
Do you think Santa Claus is Sting, or do you think Sting is Santa Claus?
Oh,
Every breath you take, he be watching you.